Yeah.
So what was the thought behind that tweet?
I think it just looking at the staff as a whole, maybe just some of the bullpen usage and matchups off the starters and some of those things that played into a lot of it. Mason's, his first 2 starts going no walks, 15 punch outs, and maybe just some of the guys that we feel like we can use out of, behind those 2 guys, played into it a little bit as well. And nothing Drew did wrong or anything like that. It's just I think we're just kind of looking big picture here and also just kind of short term in terms of bullpen guys, who fits best where.
Have you been not surprised, but I mean, with Kyle coming back twice in a weekend and the way as effective as he's been, I mean, what has it kind of meant to shoring up the back end there?
Yeah, he's had 2 elbow repairs, so I guess I don't know what else he could do to it now at this point. So he's 27 years old or whatever it is. So he's been great, and honestly, like the bigger the situation, the better he is. So I think I may have mentioned this at another time, but his velo on his fastball is better, in the 8th and 9th inning than it is, earlier in the game too. So he just has that adrenaline. I don't think he even feels anything at this point. So he's just out there. I think he blacks out. I mean, you see, after the game, I like watching the videos when we're slapping hands, and Kyle's got this like demonic look on his face after the game. It's pretty funny. You guys are a pretty fierce competitor. I'm just happy that he's had so many setbacks with his health. All he's wanted to do is help the team, and glad he's been able to do that.
Coach, when it comes to Sears, what impresses you most about what he brings to the table, mentality-wise and physical tools-wise?
Well, his fastball command is pretty impressive. His ability to put the ball where he wants to, it's pretty elite. And that's where you're seeing a lot of his success. And just his mentality, I think he does a lot of work behind the scenes to be able to repeat a lot of the things that he does that maybe people don't see, outside of practice time, where he's perfecting his craft with his stretching, just with some of his weighted ball stuff that he does. And I think he's been pretty vocal about it too. He appreciates Coach Childers kind of letting him do his thing, and not that it's his own program, but it's something that's worked for him in the past. And so his preparation is second to none. His competitive spirit as well when he's out there. He gets greedy when he's on the mound, and that's what you want from a starting pitcher. Is you want a pitcher that's greedy out there that doesn't want to give you anything.
How did you guys find him a couple years ago?
Well, he came to a camp. We have that January camp where we have high school kids and junior college kids that come, and he came to camp. He was working in Omaha at a facility, and we had gotten his name. I got a heads up there, and then obviously you start digging a little bit. He was, Western Illinois Friday guy before he was at Iowa Central, and putting up numbers there. So he came to camp. We liked the fastball, and thought that he could be a high leverage piece for us last year, and that's been well documented, right? That didn't really work out as well as it should have, but him being at the front of games has certainly been where his bread is buttered, and it's obviously been great for us.
Coach, what stands out to you about Ohio State, and what's the importance of setting the tone this weekend?
Well, they have the 3 starters, and just kind of in general, the velocity on the mound is pretty significant for them. They're athletic, they're left-handed, they have some big wins on their resume already, and they won the first series in Big Ten play. So Coach Mosiello, I've gotten to know him pretty well just on the field when he was at TCU and I was at A&M, and we had some battles there. So I know, and Coach Allen too, the pitching coach, was at Texas. So know those guys, and they do a great job, and they're certainly talented, and they have a group of coaches that are used to coaching the postseason.
What's the response been from the team, and how easy is it to move on from Tuesday and just focus on the task at hand?
Yeah, yesterday was a pretty light practice, just in terms of, we didn't do a whole lot. We hit, kind of talked a little bit about the game and what we feel like we could have done better. But today will be kind of a bigger test, I guess. It'll be a little bit longer practice, and go over a few more things, finer points. So I'm not worried about this group. I mean, I know they're going to be hungry to respond. We haven't had a whole lot of opportunities to respond from this year, but these guys have been pretty resilient in game this year, and I expect no different.
It's really hard for a catcher back there to work and work and work and expect him to hit. And Karen's doing that. How's he helping the team? Dumb question, but
Yeah.
sometimes they're good to ask.
Well, you see the way he's built.
Yeah.
He's physical, so he's kind of built to withstand and uphold, the workload that we're asking of him. Now, we have done some things behind the scenes to try to keep him fresh, and he takes good care of his body with his nutrition and some of those things as well. But yeah, it's difficult, but it's one of those things. If he wants to be a pro, he's gonna have to do it every day and do it 6 days a week. So. He's doing a great job for us. He's obviously been a big presence in the middle of the order, and we thought the bat would continue to get better from him. But where I'm most proud of his growth is with his vocal presence behind the plate. He's kind of a quiet guy by nature, but he's really taken charge of the pitching staff a lot better this year. And he's been a true leader for us back there.
Is he playing his way into draft consideration this year?
I would think so. Yeah, I think just going into the year, I think he was on radars already, and he's just, like I said, he's got the physical tools. He looks the part that way, and I would imagine he would have an opportunity that way.
Are you guys any closer to maybe Brumbaugh getting out there?
Yeah, we'll actually see a little bit more of him today at practice, throwing. He's done a little bit. He threw a little bit Tuesday night before the game, and just. I just kind of want to see where he's at, because he played with it hurt for about 2 weeks, where you could tell that there were some plays he probably wasn't going to be able to make. It didn't really show up a whole lot. So we'll see. Like I said, could it be a deal where he could go play left field? I think so. I think he could. Could he play second base again? There's more throws there, obviously. Could he turn the double play? Could he make the play in the hole? Those are things that we're going to have to find out, but my guess is we're probably at least a week away. Perfect scenario, he's ready to play defense next weekend.
Yeah, you got a bunch of guys with multiple saves at this point so far this year. What's led to some of the guys at the back end of the bullpen and some of their success?
I just think that the confidence level is really high for those guys. I think just the pitching staff in general, they take the mound with a high level of confidence, and also just by virtue of how many different types of situations we've put them all in. I think they feel that trust from us. So, I wouldn't say we necessarily have a true closer because we have so many guys with saves, but I also think we have different guys that are matchup type guys too. So maybe it's a part of the order that we're in. Maybe the leverage innings in the 7th inning, and we're trying to go get the save in that inning, and we feel like we have the right guys to match up there, rights and lefts, and so I think it's just been a combination of the guys feeling very confident, and also let's face it, the guys that are getting the ball in those situations have been strike throwers for the most part, right? So they make you earn it.
What's the difference in terms of the decision-making process, this year compared to a year ago when you're like, all right, we're going to bring Shea Shanneman in to handle this situation and try to shut the door?
Well, it's a lot different because, now there's not just one or two guys that you're possibly looking at, and not just wondering, is Shea available today? We've got a bunch of different guys that we can go to. So we try not to use guys on back-to-back days if we can. We have done it, but it's a totally different set of circumstances because we wanted to do that going into the offseason last year, and it's played out that way where we got to, the belief from the team comes on what you do between the 6th and 9th innings of the game. You can hold the leads if you have the right guys, and you're not just having to rely on one or two guys to get the job done.
Do you as coaches say to the players about having a ranking this week? Did you even mention it?
I brought it up. I said it to them 2 weeks ago because I thought it might be coming, and I just reminded them like, hey, we're still a bunch of nobodies that haven't done anything or proven anything, or we have a chip on our shoulder because we have something to prove every day. So that doesn't change. So I brought it up. It's where we want to be, right? Though those are the expectations that we want to have here. We want to be part of a mid-season projection to be playing postseason baseball here. Does it mean anything at this point? Absolutely not. There's a ton of baseball left to be played, but those are the expectations we want to run to. We want to welcome those things. So also understanding that someone's opinion on our team, it doesn't validate who we know or think that we know.